Hello, my name is Edwin Edebiri. Happy Monday to every one of you. This is exciting time, folks. This is how we start the week. We started on a foundation of happiness. Today we are going to be talking about a topic that is in everybody's mind and to some extent affect our level of happiness very well, and then it kind of taper off. It really depends. So to kind of help me discuss this topic, we're talking about money and happiness. Michelle Tasco is a financial life coach who has turned her past financial mess into her present message. If you don't have a plan for yourself, someone else will have a plan for you. Mrs. Tasco, welcome to the call.
Thank you so much for having me today, Eden.
Yeah, this is exciting. We want to talk about a topic that everybody sometimes stresses about, which I'm not even sure if it's the money that affects happiness or the stress that people stress over it that affects happiness, or a combination of the both. But I also know that money does a lot of good stuff, and on that end, it definitely affects happiness in a positive way. So let's start with this. How are our finances tied to our overall happiness?
Our finances are tied absolutely to our overall happiness, because the way that we see ourselves and our own worth is dependent upon, and many times, how much we're making, how much we're able to do in the world. It gives us options, absolutely, and the quality of life that we have is definitely tied to how much we're earning and where that money is going. What's interesting is that when you don't know your numbers, it's hard to have confidence in who you are and rest assured that you're taken care of. And so one way to be able to have happiness and to feel confident about who you are and where you're going is to manage your money well. And so it's important for you to, for anybody really, to make it a point not to just make money and spend it, but to be able to be in a place where you know where your finances are at, things are paid, but then you're also building for the future. And when you know that there's a future that you have that you can financially reach, then whatever it is that you're desiring can come to pass.
That is fantastic. And I've always said also that it's not so much how much you make. I think if I'm hearing you, right now, it's really how well you manage it, whether you're controlling money or money is controlling you. I think, that's a very crucial part. So then the question then is this: how can we gain happiness if we are not where we want to be financially?
Very good question. So, finances and how much we're making is really all relative. I've coached many people all over the country, and I've seen people that are making $20,000 a year, $30,000 a year, and I'm seeing people and working with people that are making $200,000 a year and more. And it is, yes, about how you manage it, because it's not about what you make, but it's about what you keep. And there's this law, it's Parkinson's law, and it says that it's the idea that if you can make a certain amount of money, and it also has to do with time, but I'll strip it to money. If you make a certain amount of money and you are used to certain things, then those things, instead of being wants, turn into needs. And then you feel like you're not making enough money because your needs, quote unquote, expand. And so it's really important, again, as I mentioned in the beginning, to look at your numbers, because just because you feel like you're not making enough money or there's never enough money doesn't necessarily mean that there isn't enough money. You'll be quite surprised when you sit down to go through your numbers. What I mean by that is go through your spending and where the money actually is going. that you do have enough. It's just maybe not going into the right places. A lot of times people, they trade long-term success for the instant gratification spending on a daily basis, and those things definitely add up.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So now let's see this. If I make more money, okay, and I'm sure you hear this in your practice. I definitely hear this as a Chief Happiness Officer. Okay, if I make more money, I will be more happy. Is this true?
I'd love to say yes, and most people have the mentality or the belief that I just got to make more money, I just got to make more money. Well, it isn't true, because if you're not handling the money that you have right now, then if you make more money, you'll have the same exact habits, the same exact spending, and you'll still be in the same place. So, no. Sorry to say, Edwin, it is not true.
Okay. So, no, it's one thing for me as a Chief Happiness Officer to be saying it, but I think it's good to also hear it from a financial expert, because, there is also something about happiness that you have to be happy with what you have, and that doesn't stop you from wanting more, but you have to be happy with what you have. If you are not happy with what you have, then nothing can ever be enough. And I think, that's just so true with finance. I heard, in short, we have a video by Warren Buffett, on our site. And he says, you have to be happy with where you are. You have to be happy with what you have. And I think that really can frame a lot of people's mind, when it comes to finances, big time. Okay, that is awesome. Now, there are some people, though, that will say, well, I am not great with money and always feel behind. How can I get out of this kind of rut?
Okay, yes. The magic question. Well, let me say it this way. How we think is how we believe, and how we believe is how we behave. And so if you are telling yourself, because words are so powerful, if you're telling yourself, I'm not great with money, and if your feelings are, I'm always behind, then that's how it'll be for you. But if, look, we live in America. We live in a place where people have come from all over other countries with a couple of pennies in their pocket, but with a dream. But you know what they had? They had belief. They had belief that they were meant to do something greater. They had belief that they wanted something more for their families. And so the first thing that needs to switch is your belief that you can be great with money. It seems so simple, but, we as people, we make choices every day. And we can either continue to believe the things that have kept us stuck, or we can choose a different belief so that we can move forward. And, there's nothing new under the sun, and there's many great teachers out there. I'm absolutely always open to working with new clients. But the bottom line is start learning, start figuring it out. Figure out, where is it that you're stuck? Is it the numbers? Is it just the idea of it? Have you been told all your life that you're not great with money? Sometimes there are areas in our lives where we just have to share with other people, because we're actually not alone. And so you may find that if you just find somebody that you can confide in and say, you know what, you may not know this about me, or a friend, but I've really been struggling with money, or just, how to handle it. What is it that you do? And you might be surprised that they may have some great tips and will come alongside you to be that support. It's really easier than we think. I think that our belief system absolutely stops us from taking any steps forward. So that's one way.
Wow. I totally agree. Think, believe, behave. I don't know if you know this. I go into schools, middle schools and high schools, and I teach happiness. And sometimes kids will come to me and we start talking. Maybe they are struggling in this particular area, and they say, oh, I'm not just good in that, I'm not just good in that, and it's usually like people talk about I'm not good in math, because somehow, that's been drawn into people's subconsciousness that you are either good in it or you are not good in it. But it's just the way they think. If they could change an environment and somebody could cause them to say, hey, that's not true, and all of a sudden they become a math whiz because it's the same brain cells, that work it. And I think it's also with happiness. I see some people just think I am not happy. I'm not a happy person. That's who I am. I'm not a happy person. I'm like, get out of your head, and you can be a happy person. So I think the same thing you are telling us now with money. That is awesome. Well, as we wind down this session here, I want you to kind of give a giveaway. That's one of the things that I really, really drive home in this call, something that somebody can put to use today, this week. What would that be?
Okay, well, I would love to share with all of your happy friends my top financial tips. And so let me go ahead and start with the first one. And you kind of shared that earlier when you introduced me. Number one is if you don't have a plan for your money, then someone else will have a plan for you. And, you got to think that we're bombarded with media. We're on Facebook, we're watching commercials, and with the advertisements, telling us where to shop and what to click on, it's really important for you to have a plan for your money because everybody else will have a plan for you. And the main thing is they want it for themselves. They want you to shop here and buy this and eat here. So have a plan for your money. Next, utilize technology. So I love using Mint, mint.com. It's an app you can put on your phone. You can also get online. It's made by the people that make QuickBooks, which is an accounting software. So they really do know what they're doing. It doesn't cost anything, but it's such a great way to take all of the accounts that you have and put it all in one place. So you have a big picture of all the information, and that way you know where every dollar is going. Next, have a true spending plan. So I call it a spending plan because a lot of people don't want to be on a budget. And so in order to create this true spending plan, and when I say true, it's because it's based off of your natural spending. And it's easy enough for anybody to get out a piece of paper and a pen and pull numbers out of the air, but it's not based on what you're naturally spending, your habits, the way you live, the things that you like to do, then it's doomed to fail. So you want to look at and leverage Mint. Look at the last 90 days of spending, and then take each of those transactions, categorize it the way Mint has you do, and then look at the rolling average. So what's the average for over 90 days of what you're spending at restaurants or movies or shopping or utilities, things like that. And you want to evaluate those costs and create your true spending plan from there, okay? Next and last, you want to plan for the usual but unexpected. So you see, what's so funny is when I work with my clients, they'll say, oh, I don't usually spend there, or I don't usually buy that, or that was an unexpected cost. But we know that doing your taxes every year, that is something that will happen, especially this year coming in April. So there will be a fee for that. We know that at some point in the year you're going to have to re-register your car. That Christmas is coming. It doesn't sneak up. It's always in December. But for whatever reason, because we're just so focused on, okay, I just got to pay the bills and I need this much money for food and a little bit of fun, that when those expenses come up or even, a car repair or whatnot, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, my gosh, all the money I spent, now I have to just put it here. All the money I saved, I have to, put it towards this, and now I'm back to zero and I can never get ahead. So it's really important to take those costs into consideration. And when you do so and take that time, then you won't be stuck. There won't be surprises. So those are my tips.
Awesome. Wow, that is a lot of tips. I think, folks, if people just put that to work, that would definitely increase the level of happiness that we experience, especially with money, folks. You know, we're in a capitalist society. We need money to make things happen. So make money your friend, not your enemy. You control your money. Don't let money control you. Michelle, this is very, very awesome tip that you have provided for us. Michelle Tasco is one of our feature coaches, folks. If you haven't downloaded our app, please do so. happybuttonapp.com. Download it, and you will be able to see her and get all the information and connect with her. If you really think that, you can use this kind of valuable knowledge, you can also go to the IamHappyProject.org, IamHappyProject.org, and Michelle Tasco is one of the features coaches there. Again, folks, Michelle, I want to say thank you for all those nuggets.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to help each and every person.
All right. As part of our tradition, folks, if you mute yourself, this is a time to unmute yourself. And I am going to count to 2, and let's wish each other a happy Monday. 1, 2.
Happy Monday.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. And let's stay happy. Bye-bye now.
Bye.